What's the worst cold call you've ever made?
Fucking every day. Bro, I get bodied every time I get on the phone, and that's the beautiful thing is I'm unemotional about it. Our whole team can be pretty, well, not all of them, but most of the team is pretty unemotional about getting bodied. You're going to, right? I mean, if you don't get a get fucked or fuck you, or I don't take cold calls, don't ever call me again, at least once a day, like you're just not making enough dials. I can't even tell you the worst. I mean, they've all been bad, to some degree, but that's the beautiful thing about segmenting the market is just because I get bodied by one, I'm going to pick up the phone, the next one, go find the next segmented person that I can follow up with into eternity.
I'll give you two anecdotes from my end, and this was not scripted. I just thought about them. So
beautiful.
One is I have a client who is a founder-based seller. A lot of our clients have sales teams. By the way, for those of you listening, I run fractional outbound sales leadership for our clients. So, woo.
And you're a monster at it.
I am a monster at it. We've got some clients who have entire sales teams and we run their outbound portion. We have others who are founder-based sellers, not necessarily ideal because they're not going to run the follow-up the way that we want them to. So I had one who was like, dude, I just can't follow up on these leads. They're not high enough priority. I don't have enough time. I'm like, dude, just take 30 minutes a day and call 5 of them. You're going to talk to 2. It's not super hard. So that day, I'm like, you tell you what, I'm the 3 leads that you just looked over.
Which space is this in? Don't name the client. What's
digital marketing space?
Okay, classic.
Yeah, classic for sure.
They're keyboard clickers.
Still worried about like building their own ads and shit. So I take one of these leads in particular, high priority account, and I'm like, dude, I'm getting this person on the phone today. So I call them 3 times from my personal cell over the course of like 6 hours. And finally this person picks up and they were like, who are you? I'm like, I do like a little intro. I had to remember that I was actually calling from my client's company. And definitely burned the brand there. You can have that happen. They were like, 3 times in one day is aggressive. And then they dog cussed me and they told me to never call me. So that was one.
What's funny is you'll call them in 2 weeks and they'll be in a different mood. Yeah.
The other one was yesterday.
And leverage that. Leverage that, dude.
Oh, I will.
Like, hey, dude, listen, man, I'm the guy who called you 3 times in one day. I get it. That was aggressive. I've given you a 2-week, break. Here's why I called. And then you go in your pitch.
It was an old lady and she was scary. I don't know if I want to call her back.
All right, classic.
The other one, I called this 70-year-old guy, and 3 minutes into the conversation, we're talking about guns, ammunition, and cryptocurrency.
Beautiful. Did you get it further activated, or?
He said there's no way we're ever working together in 60 seconds into the conversation. And after we talked about crypto for like 15 minutes, he's like, I'll tell you what, you seem like a pretty smart guy. Like, let's see if we can't make something happen. So.
What I love about you, and not every one of our VPs do this, although it's becoming common practice, is you'll just get on and prove it to the client. It's not rockets. This is fundamentals at scale is what we do best. You build the list, you call the list, you follow up with the list. That's it, right? That's what Ryan Reisert's been touting. That's what's been touted. Ryan Reiser heard that from someone who heard that from someone. And guess who we heard it from? People who've been successful in sales, people who've done what's required. What is required is you build the list, a good one. You call the list, you segment it, you follow up. That's it.
Bam.
That's the revenue podcast right there.
That's it.
That's how you, if you don't listen to their episode and you just do that, you're pretty much going to get the whole entire breakdown of what every segment in this podcast will ever be about.
So what's funny is I thought about that after episode 1. Empty the clip, right? We talked about meetings don't matter. We talked about some of our frameworks. I'm like, fuck, we emptied the clip. Like, what do we have left? And then we have a lot of other stuff we can talk about, but we are giving away the good stuff up front here, and it only gets better.
Bro, I have developed a decently successful, never have to work again real estate portfolio. Right? This is a purpose, by the way.
Subtle flex.
Not a flex.
No, it is. It is a flex.
I have done as required. But I have heard the same advice probably 1,000 times, and it didn't click for me until I heard it for the 1,001st time. Right? And so for some people who are listening, it's like, oh yeah, just call the list. It's like, yeah, but you're listening to this podcast because you're not where you want to be yet. So go do the thing. Or I'm going to tell you this 1,000 times, and finally it'll click for you, and you'll have mega success, and you'll be grateful for this podcast.
It is my new favorite sales question. On a call, right?
Is what?
Or on it with a client. What is the alternative?
That's right.
Silence. What
is your? I mean, we have the math of sales calculator. I can show you your alternatives. You could do
They're
nothing.
not good.
You could do nothing. You could do this, or you could keep doing what we're doing. But all of which lead to a pretty dismal outcome if you just don't do what is required to be successful.
Got to do what's required. The alternative to what we are talking about, and what a lot of people accuse telemarketers or done-for-you biz dev dialing teams of doing.
We're not talking about TikTok. I'm kidding.
What?
I'm kidding. What we're not telling you, what we haven't told you yet is you should just do TikTok.
Just do TikTok ads.
I saw this guy put up a post. It's actually the COO of a company who was talking about a CEO. And the CEO strategy was basically like a bunch of that fluff, like build the audience. Like, yeah, no shit, but like sales, right? So there's, there's community-led growth, there's audience-led growth, there's product-led growth, and there's sales-led growth. Do them all, but like, do them all. There's no magic bullet. Go do your TikToks. I don't care. We're doing a podcast. That's part of the equation.
The real takeaway from this is Joey's starting a TikTok. Go follow him on.
Bro, I have a TikTok. I've
VP
logged in 3
Thanksgiving
times. I have a TikTok. I've logged in 3 times. I had this kid in Estonia who was basically taking all of our last podcast, cutting up into clips and putting on there. And bro, I went mega viral like 3 times.
It's when you threw out your 95-5-90 rule.
I did throw the 95-5-90 rule, and I also talked about the Rothschild family. Those 2 went mega viral.